Okay, let's do this. I'm going to make a good impression.
I've never really quite noticed how crooked my glasses seem. The more you know. Let's get started, shall we? For the many of you that probably don't know yet, my name is Cynthia, or as others like to call me, Cynthia, or my favorite, Cynthia, or I didn't really have a nickname growing up, so Cynthia's the best we're gonna get, but it's my pleasure to meet you all. Now, unlike my username, I'm not exactly 1 centimeter, maybe 1.5 centimeters, I'll give you that. But I'll probably tell you the meaning of the name probably in another video or so. Right now, I'm still figuring out the ins and outs to making videos. Like, for example, right now, if you haven't noticed, I try to avoid doing this, but occasionally my eyes will glance to what should be your left because it's flipped. But I will glance to the screen, and that's not me looking at, there's no imaginary person on the other side. I wish, but it's actually just me checking my reflection. And here's the thing, this is probably normal for most YouTubers. Wow, I'm still trying to get used to saying that. But what I'm seeing right now is a mirror image of myself, and it's what I'm normally used to seeing. But when I see the actual playback, it's flipped, which is what you guys are actually seeing. And because I'm not used to it, it's hard, It's a bit hard not to scrutinize myself, which is why I try to stick to the rule of not watching my playback. Otherwise, I'm gonna be here doing the same shot over and over just because I don't look like my mirror image. But that being said, I'm still happy to be able to sit down and be able to talk to you guys, because in the past couple of videos, I've mostly just been directing/editing. Directing is a bit of a, but definitely editing. But I'm glad to be able to sit here without having any sort of actual screens besides obviously the one right here. But I wanted to take the chance to connect to whoever it is on the other side of the screen. So if you know or don't know, I've recently put out 2 videos out so far, but if you notice between the upload dates, there's a bit of a gap. The best excuse I could give for that is that I waited for my hair to grow out. But between you and me, I did film and edit a lot of content, but whether or not it was ready really depended on me. I admittedly have a streak of perfectionism, so it's a bit hard for me not to scrutinize every little bit of detail before putting out my own work. But looking at it, I would really regret if I missed out on a lot of my own stories just because I wasn't necessarily ready. Regardless, I don't think there's gonna be a point where I truly will be ready, and I'm perfectly fine with that. And with or without my little lens of perfectionism, I want to pursue and create more content. With that, I will be posting content every Friday or so around noontime. If not, probably the next day or maybe even Sunday. I'll try my best to honor the commitment as best as possible, but really it depends on the amount of time and editing necessary for these videos, because I not only want to produce weekly content, but I also want to produce great consistent content at that. Now, when it comes to content, there really be 2 types of videos that I'll be posting. The first type will be a mix of short films / skits. As for these will be my own sort of explorations into certain ideas and themes. And at the same time, I do want to try my own hand at improving my camera work, my editing techniques, and overall my storytelling skills. The second type of videos that I like to try out is more sit-down videos like this. Now, although I'm still trying to put out my own content, I still want to be able to connect with my viewers, aka my audience. And for that, I'm still trying to get to a place where I'm more comfortable in talking to a camera where my eyes are here, not here. But hopefully we can all create a space where we can come together and talk about topics that are familiar to our heart, as cheesy as that sounds. Been a possible thought a decade ago. And Jesus Christ.
Is a great guy. I give him a 20 out of 10.
Now, I do realize, after looking back at the video, that I do seem a bit, or rather very much so, apologetic, and I do promise this will be the only time where I will admit any of my shortcomings so far, but it really goes back to wanting to be able to put my best foot forward when it comes to creating content. Now, to be as humble as I possibly can, I know that I'm good at what I do, but I want to be great at it. And to do so, I need to be able to have as many failures as I can with my successes, as hard as that may seem. And I understand that in order to do that, I have to allow myself to freely and openly make as many mistakes as really I should be making. And in that regard, I'm still lacking. But I believe to a certain degree or so that each and every one of us has an important story to tell, whether or not we know it. For me, in that story, what's important is not necessarily how you tell that story, but really why you tell it. And you know, whenever I do content like this, it kind of reminds me of being a kid, you know? When I was a kid, I thought I was the strongest person out there. I thought that one day I'd be able to become a doctor, a police officer, a CEO, even a president. And I even remember writing that one day I'd be the one to achieve world peace. But when you grow up, you realize that those sorts of things become a bit more difficult to achieve. But in a way, through this screen of mine and between me and the camera, it somewhat feels like I've become that strong person in a way, as weird as it may seem. But with that comes the fact that growing up, there have been certain issues that have been close to my heart, issues that I want to bring light. And these are issues that I see not only within my life, but in society and the world. And with that, I want to bring these sorts of problems to the public viewer and really advocate for them. Now, in order not to spoil any future content, I'll admittedly stay as general as possible, but I believe that in order to really do certain topics any sort of justice, it really requires all my full effort and time. And in doing so, I do humbly ask for everyone's patience when it comes to the sort of content that I put out. And that being said, I promise that not everything will be as serious, but everything will not always be funny as well. And a little saying that I found that I kind of want to stick by when it comes to it is content that disturbs the comforted and comforts the disturbed. It's a little bit out of place here, but it's something that's really stuck with me. And that being said, I do have to go back to the fact that I am truly lucky to have such a platform like this where I'm able to talk to as many people as possible, whereas such an idea like this probably wasn't even thought of maybe 10 years ago. 10 years ago? It's actually been quite a while since then, but who knows? The possibilities are endless. And in some sort of realm of sentimentality, I do know that each and every one of us, as much as we have a story, we also have a finite amount of time as well. And to be able to take my time and share that with you all is truly a gift. And I am equally thankful if you, the viewer, are able to extend that gift forward and share it with me. Truly, I am grateful to make content and hopefully hear content from you guys as well, be it through comments or videos, however it is. And really, this is just the start of it all. So, with that being said, look forward to more content. I'll be still working, so thank you for listening. Bye.